welcome. This is Desiree, and this is our third video in our second series all about poinsettias. Now, the video just before, we did layering die cuts. They were by Honeybee. It was from their Lovely Layers collections, and we just layered that cardstock on top of each other, and we got this beautiful image. It had some dimension and it had some texture. What we're going to do though is we're going to die cut another poinsettia, or a few more, but we're going to add a little bit of a bend and a twist to the cardstock. You don't need any special tools. One's probably recommended more than another, but again, totally not required. Absolutely not required. All right, but I think it's something that everybody has. And there is going to be another glue that I like to use when it comes to this. So you'll see those two things kind of come out of the norm, the normal glues and a normal tool that we use. But we're going to use a poinsettia. It's called the Christmas Dies Poinsettia Flower Set. It's a set of 9 by Dress My Craft. And this is what they look like. So they look really cool because they're tattered, not completely smooth. But we're going to use basic cardstocks. We're going to change up the color too. We're going to go to a lighter shade. I do tend to lean towards the darker poinsettia plant. The darker, richer reds, almost purples. So we're going to do this one just a little bit lighter, just to break things up a little bit, because we still have 2 more videos to go. Just saying. And I'm going to show you how you can make these flowers just come to life. Now, these flowers will add a lot of dimension to your card. And we'll talk more about that as we get towards the end, or when we come back to look at our card. All right, so we're going to use this. I just have to choose my sentiment. Not sure which one I'm going to use, but grab your supplies and what you want to work on and what you would like to give a little bit of a bend or a twist to. We're going to switch over to a voiceover. This is going to be a longer video than normal. I'm giving this disclaimer in every video. I want to show you as much of the process as I can and explain as much as I can. So Gabby long. All right, so grab those supplies and let's switch over to voiceover and get started. Just to save a little bit of time, we've got our die cutting done already. Going to add some colors to our die cuts. Like we did in the previous video, we only added it to the leaves. We're going to add it this time to all the pieces, or the majority of the pieces. So I'm adding a green to our green leaves. I'm adding actually a bright green. It's just coming up darker. And I'm being very heavy-handed with it. I really want to have a lot of color, and it's because of the base that I'm using for the card that we are making. I'm using a lighter green for our green center. So this is, I'm kind of creating, well, I'm envisioning the beautiful white poinsettias that we see. So that's why I have the peaches and the pinks and the whites and the green center coming in. But I'm just adding the ink to the centers of these petals. Now, once I have these inked, I'm going to flip back and actually craft with you live, because we're taking our dies in this one up to the next level. We are going to add twists and bends and shapes and everything to these pieces of paper that we have die cut. We are going to make the poinsettia pop right off of our card front. And I think this is absolutely gorgeous when we do this. All right, so let's get to that. Okay, I have my pieces inked up and I just added to the centers just to have that hint of dimension. Now I'm going to talk through a leaf, because all the leaves, after I do one leaf, all the leaves will be done the same. And then I'm going to do the largest flower, and all of those will be done the same as well. Figured if I do one of each, it's going to be easier for the video. Okay. The tool that I'm talking about is, a lot of us already have tweezers. A lot of us already have the reverse tweezers. These are like our third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh hand as we're putting on bows or holding pieces together, or anything else we can think of when it comes to these. These, though, come up and then they curve and have this awesome sharp point, but they do curve. Spellbinders has had for a while a straight reverse tweezer, where the point is just completely straight, but it's still a reverse tweezer. I have grown to absolutely love these because of this straight point. You'll see I am going to use these, and I will show you on one petal how you can make these work if this is what you have. Again, I am not here to say, oh, you must buy this. I'm just saying this is what I use. It works better for me. I like these better. These we just have to work differently with, okay? So again, starting out with this, I'm going to grab my large leaf. I'm able to take this and put the leaf down along the edge, or the full length almost, of this tweezers. By pinching this down more, I'm going to take the cardstock and bend it up, bringing it to a point. So now that's up and around. And again, you're not looking for creases here. You just want to curve this up, and now we've got the leaf bent. For each of the points, I take my tweezers, come in, and I bend outward. I take my tweezers onto the edge, pinch down, bend backwards. Take my tweezers down, hold this down, and I bend backwards. So it's almost like you're curling the ends of this cardstock. And that's exactly what I'm doing. Now, you can also use, when it comes to this, and there's your leaf. You can also come in from this side and bend as well, and then bend it down. Okay, so you're bending this cardstock. You can also use your bone folder creaser, paper creaser, or a pen, because then you can take this, curl it out, take this back in, bend it around, and then come back in and turn that out as well. That's what you're looking to do, and you can see all of that shape that this takes. If this is what you have, that's fine. It'll still work. Just work from the top. So take your tweezers just until it bends, and then wrap around that point and put your finger in there and bend down. Okay? And then come in off to the side, push down, and bend it. Open it up, push down on that, and bend it. Push down and bend it. So you're just working a little bit differently. I just like to also pinch and hold together these two ends so that they stay together strong. And then again, a pen, or if you have, this is by Trinity, and then I'm going to come in again and bend just to get those different creases. Can also take these and bend these out a little bit to get a different shape. So that's what you're looking to do with the leaves. With the petals, we can't start from the center, obviously. So I'm going to come down about halfway to the petal. I'm going to pinch this down and I'm going to fold this up. Pinch this down, fold that up. If you have one of these, you're going to come in to that curves, pinch that down, and fold it up. Again, you get almost the same results. You're just holding the piece differently. So now we have that. Now I'm going to come in with my tweezers, and along the top, I'm going to roll. I'm going to come in along the whole edge, and I'm going to roll. I'm going to come in around the whole edge and roll. So again, I'm curling that back. If I have these, I can only take a couple at a time and roll them back. I'm going to take this and almost curl it around. And then I'm going to take this side and I'm going to curl that back. So your fingers are going to help you to manipulate these petals. All right, but with these, I can go on that whole edge and just turn it and curve it out. Go down this whole edge, curve it. Grab on that side. Turn down. And you want it, and it looks like I'm very rough with this. You do want to be careful because this starts getting weak because you are really weakening these fibers as you're just continuously twisting this cardstock. And that's how you work with this and or this. If this is what you already have, stick with that. If you don't have this by Trinity to roll out the paper, use a pen. Use a big pen. They're smooth. They actually look like this. They look exactly like this. And you can just use that pen edge, okay? You don't have to buy all the fancy tools. All right, so let's go back to voiceover. I hope that all made sense. It adds beautiful texture and dimension to your pieces. I also do find it very therapeutic, you know, to just bend and mold our papers into these shapes. Okay, so I think you've heard enough of my voice, so I'm going to give my voice a rest. And I'm going to play some music as we continue with the rest of our pieces. And when I come back, we're going to put it all together. Just finishing up the sentiment holiday wishes. We have this beautiful white poinsettia. I used a gray background for our sentiment. And I didn't lose the top of the eye, which is, awesome. Miracles can happen. Now, this sentiment I did choose. In a previous video, I said I usually add more to the cloud or the shadow and only have one layer. It was for the wine tags. This time I chose to have multiples for the gray and multiple for the sentiment. That's because of the image. I think the image with all of this texture that's about to come out of this flower, I think the sentiment needed that step look as well. I'm using some double-sided tape to put onto my card base. And I'm going to place this now down onto my standard A2 size card base. So I have a gray mat and then the black. Now the reason why I did use the tape is we are going to have this image has some weight to it. It really does. I know it's just paper. There's a special glue that I'm about to pull in. And this is called Kids Choice Glue by Beacon. This, again, we all love our glues. We all, Barely Arts and art glitter glue. I like a PVA glue because it, for whatever reason. But when it comes to doing something like this is the only glue that I will use. It is a very thick glue, very thick. You can see as I'm dipping these pieces in there, it's holding its peak. As I push down into the center, you can see these petals come up. They are lifting up and around, and this glue is coming out around it. You cannot see the glue, but it's forming around these petals, and it sounds so weird the way that I'm describing this. But this glue will hold this poinsettia in its shape. Now, mailing might be a little bit tricky. A box is probably the best thing. But this will hold the test of time when it comes to this glue, and it will hold its shape. It is a phenomenal glue. It is not for putting mats together. It is not for any other application, in my opinion, for what we just used it for, because it is that thick. I love the name though. Kids Choice Glue. Yeah. It's wonderful. To accent our piece, we're going to add some satin pearls, satin gold pearls. And we're going to put some not only in the center, but we're going to put some around the outside of our piece. Okay. And here is our third. Now again, before we just did layering die set, where we just stacked our cardstock on top of each other and created those different values through the use of gradual variegated colors in cardstock. For this one, I'm only using white, pink, a little bit of peach, and this lime green, and then of course for the leaves, and then just added some ink to the cardstock. But you can see that is how much definition and dimension that you get. Now, the glue, I believe, is key. And this Beacon's Kids Choice glue is just awesome, because when this dries, it will hold its shape. You will actually break pieces if you really press down on this, because I have to test these things out, and that's how I know. I did. Okay. But you can see, I mean, you're looking at close to 3/4 of an inch coming up off of this. Now, yes, that is going to add postage. Yes, this might be a card that you hand deliver to somebody, and that's okay. If you're mailing this, I would absolutely wrap tissue paper around this and put this in a thin box. Absolutely, about a 1-inch box, 1-inch high box, to mail it, just to protect it. But this glue is just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. It holds its dimensional shape. And you saw I was taking the tweezers and pushing down in the center. And when I did that, the glue is going to come up around the petals. That's what's happening. But it's also pushing the petals up as well. They were cupping in around, not completely, but they were actually coming up and forming around the needle or the nose of the tweezers, and it will hold. I'm pressing on this now. I mean, it's still wet, I can tell, so I'm going to push down on that bead or that pearl that I put in. There we go. And it did. It went into the glue even more, but the camera's not going to pick it up, but you can see the glue globbing up in there, and when that dries, it's solid. It's not a PVA glue. It's not like a PVA glue, I want to say. Let me see here. It says what it is. Yeah, no. It's an instant grab. It's just not a PVA. So that means it's not flexible. PVA is flexible. That's why bookbinders use a PVA glue and stuff like that. We want it to flex just a little bit. This will not once it's dry. So it's a wonderful, those are two products that are outside the norm, but I absolutely use regularly. At least the tweezers and the glue always comes in when I do my twist and bend of my cardstock. All right, so, and again, I put it all on a black piece of cardstock. Why not? Absolutely. Why not have that beautiful dark background and have these bright, beautiful colors just coming at you for the holidays? Splatters would look absolutely gorgeous on this as well. So I hope you enjoyed today's project on how you can twist and bend your cardstock to give it even more life, to make it more realistic, more dimension and texture for the fronts of your cards. The products that I used, as long as they're available, will be listed down below. If they're not, I will let you know. But again, dig into your stash. You can do this to any floral or any other type of foliage type of dime. So have fun twisting and bending. If you have any questions, please make sure you leave those down below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Please make sure you subscribe, hit that thumbs up, and by all means, make sure you ring the bell for notifications when the next video is ready for you to view. Thank you so much for spending this time with me, whether you're new or whether you've been here for a while. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. But remember, enjoy the process. Have fun creating what art you are creating, no matter what it is. And remember what's most important for me. Always be creative. And I will talk to you in the next one. Till then.